Hello again. This is another video that I'm going to do on a mega project of mine that I have also called quits, in a manner of speaking, called quits. And this is something similar to my sports orrery article and or corresponding videos that I discussed in the past a couple of years ago. You can check that out as well as anything else that I'm going to mention in this video, or I might mention in the description of this video. Now, um, I, long story short, after my upgrade regarding the Allatori, specific real pinnacles, I don't know exactly which one it is, numerically speaking or number wise, but in any case, you can again of this video or at the end screen. Um, After I upgraded that a while ago, maybe I don't know, a couple of months ago, or around the beginning of this year, 2025, I had a dream that prompted me to try to predict the outcome of football matches again. But this time, rather than through astrology and other similar readings, I also did so. I simply did so using my occult prowess, because with my Allatori power, I was able to I was able to tap into, hypothetically speaking, micro astral energy, the same way that I can hear people's thoughts without even trying. Honestly, these superficialist of thoughts, as long as they're aimed at me, even if they're not aimed at me, I can, for example, read them, but I can do so really quick and so on and so forth. In any case, the Alatori power enables me to do that. So I tried doing that as well with the thingy as prompted by the dream. Um, and the conclusion on, I want to say unfortunately, but only hypothetically speaking. So unfortunately was the same. Simply and crudely and bluntly put, it works. And the drawback is that for hypothetically infinitely complicated reasons, it is not reliable in the sense that that results are not consistent. As in, you might get like five, six matches right, and then all of a sudden you get one wrong or two wrong, and then you get four right again, and then you get one or two wrong. There is not enough of a pattern to it to the point where you can compare it to what I was aiming for, which is to get to the point where it's like maths, where it's like 1 plus 1 equals 2, similar to any reading, as in book 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4, plain and simple. Like it's irrefutable, undeniable. No, it's not up for debate or argumentative in any way, shape, and form, or not dependent on factors in a manner of speaking. Essentially, you want it by simplistically human standards or simplistic human standards to be set in stone, but only in a manner of speaking, of course. So yeah, I initially did so by simply using my astral senses, and I refined the system as I went along, and it just goes on. And at some point, I even included tarot cards in the equation. A very long, drawn out, and very also tedious, not to mention energy consuming venture, honestly, for just one match. And like I said, the result is that again you get everything right, etc., etc., but it's not consistent. And my focus was aiming on consistency. And as I have said in other mega project videos of mine, for example, the AORP video I did, is that similar to that, similar to anything that you can see as humongous, anything that will simplistically speaking make it so that you become like you can become a millionaire hypothetically overnight. It's simply impractical based on everything I've said. Specifically regarding this, I called it Allatori football, abbreviated AF. Specifically based on Allatori football, my style, it like I said, my aim is I demand utter perfectionism, and the message was also clear with this. The message was divine wise that hey, just like I said in my AORP video, you want to get to the promised land, so to speak, then you need to jump that electric fence. And it's just not worth the trouble because I don't want to get electrocuted. In order for me to accomplish success, like exactly the way I envision, to the point where I can flawlessly, like guaranteedly predict any football match. without question, nothing, and it's always correct. It's like one plus in a 1 plus 1 equals 2 format. Like I said, similar to math. In order to get to that point, I have to, spiritually speaking, go so far and give up so much more the latter than the former. Simply, you can conflate them as to being one and the same. In any case, for all intents and purposes, they are one and the same. You have to. I would have to give up so much again. Essentially, the equivalent of giving up all of my legs and my heart and kidneys and stomach and brain and all of my senses. So my sight, sense of smell, sense of hearing, and yeah, what am I left with? Or what are you left with? Like, I would simply be a shriveled up pile of bones and whatnot, and a small remaining pile of flesh. That's my point. That's what it would take, in a manner of speaking, spiritually. And at the end of the day, it's obviously not worth it. Again, any logical person would agree with me on this front. And that's all. Um, Enjoy the closing images and or videos.
Yeah, everything I've said up to this point. This is quote unquote how far I've gotten. And yeah, you see the matches here specifically. And it's purely football or soccer and the dates specifically. For example, this match, you see everything here neatly laid out, etc. Everything has been spiritually, mathematically analyzed. Everything, team members, everything. And see here for yourself. Initially, here the conclusion was, for example, this match was going to be 1-0, 2-1, or 2-0, and the result was the opposite, 0-1. And I analyzed it and I saw what the, so to speak, problem was. Second match, um, yeah, I got it right because one of the outcomes I stated was going to be 1-1, and that's exactly what happened and or transpired. With this match, yeah, I said the same thing. Highest probability was 1-1 or 1-0 amongst other score lines, and the outcome was indeed 1-0. So it was amongst my predicted outcomes. And this match, yeah, this is what hypothetically bugged me because this already happened in the past. So it was 1-0, and the match ended 4-3. And none of the data pointed out why that's the case. Doesn't matter how many times I analyzed it. But I already brought it up in the past that again, there will always be some unknown factor or element, etc., based on the magnitude of what you're trying to accomplish. Again, everything I've already said in the video. I don't need to go into explanation any further. So yeah, the scoreline is correct in terms of a one goal difference, a home team versus away team, but the amount of goals scored is quote unquote half. So that's all, guys.